it. I'm
I
live
go
in it.
I go and change them on
Oh, thank you. It's a team effort, yeah.
all the platforms.
Uh, hello, wonderful world. The last Monday in May, and we are happy to arrive here together with all of you and see what the ancestors have to tell us this week. Last week was the messenger, and we all kind of concurred that we felt it showing up in our work last week, and I'm eager to see what this week holds. So let's give her a shuffle, shall we?
You have any intentions you're feeding to the cards, Emily?
I actually try to like empty my mind
Mm-hmm.
and just like,
Let it happen.
yeah. The connector. We are all one. Doesn't feel that, the messenger, the connector, heart-centered, intimate, creative, communicative, diplomatic, devoted, harmonious, inspiring, accommodating, receptive, compassionate, and empathetic. Yeah. Venus energy. A little foxy. There's a little fox, a little lion. Let me just take a look and see. I want to make sure. This is more for me than anybody else, honestly, is the shadow.
I like to hear it all. Yeah.
Okay. The shadow of the connector. If you are people pleasing, it's because you want everyone to be happy, but also because you want to be liked, which is simply not possible all the time. People pleasing is a huge shadow thing for me. Total trauma response to like make everybody okay all around me. When you feel insecure, you become self-negating and overly attached to people and outcomes. This leaves you feeling unseen, misunderstood, powerless, and often ineffective towards your goal. You may take on other people's energy and problems like they are your own, even without knowing it. When this happens, it's because you feel like you need others to need you in order to feel loved. This neediness will wear you out, hijack your dreams, and leave you mired in drama. If you find yourself in the shadow of the connector's energy, you're giving too much of what others want and not enough of your true high value gifts. Time to come back home to your divine connection and put your personal and spiritual needs first. Our high value gifts as connectors: we are good networkers, we're inspiring, we're relational, creative, communicators, highly connected, spiritually connected. We create sense of belonging, and we intuitively know what others need and want. This is our inspired action plan. I connect with myself, source, and then others. When I do this, I can effectively use my high value gifts of inspiration and communication as my currency to remind others that relationships are a reflection of divinity.
I had a friend tell me one time, it's reminding me of this moment when someone said something similar about like a shadow self. They struggled with something similar to what's being described here. And they said that they had gotten feedback from someone before that was really powerful, which was that no one asked them to do that. So not only were they harming themselves, but they were harming others out of their own agency by trying to assume what they need or want without really like allowing that person to also say, no, you're enough as you are. I'm here because I like you. I'm here because I want to connect with you already. So you going that step further might be well-intentioned, but it hacks me of my ability to participate with you because you're just afraid I'm not going to like you. And I thought that was powerful. So I just wanted to share that. It's an interesting way to think about it, you know?
Yeah. It's the opposite of connection. It's like presumptuous.
Right. It's like, it's understandable that maybe somewhere down the line there was an experience where you so badly wanted to connect, or your skills of connection were, maybe overshadowed by someone who is manipulative or just wanted to be a jerk, but if you don't shed that skin, you accidentally take it further than it needs to go with you, which is an interesting thing to think about, you know?
I like that. I like
Yeah.
that.
What are you thinking about, Mikta?
Well, one, I really appreciate you reading out the full message description, supported by the book text. So maybe we can do that more often during these sessions.
Yeah.
Gives me a little more food for thought to think about, or to process rather. But you said it actually, and this is why I'm appreciating that you read it, because I was thinking about connection and community, some of our really foundational the foundational missions, right? Like mission of our organization. And like that's interwoven into everything we desire to do. And while I am kind of maybe middle of the road, extroverted, introverted these days, whereas I was more historically extroverted,
Mm.
I cannot forget in the process of connecting with others to check in and make sure that my connection with self is solid, because we collectively and individually, we output so much every day to other people, whether it's just the three of us, like our crew here, our project partners or clients or whomever, like we output so much. And sometimes I get to the end of the day and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have any like the connection to self is my brain going, stop, you're tired.
Yeah.
But I don't always want to be that. I don't always want that to be the connection to myself, only that I'm only paying attention and conscious when my body's going, enough, we're depleted. We've given, we can give kind of thing. Like let's, when we still have some energy, give that back to ourselves. Kind of like getting it to the end of your professional career, maybe, and then going, now I can travel, now I can do all of those things. We've heard it from so many mentors and community folks, right? It's like, don't wait till you're 70 to travel. You don't want to travel when you're 70. It's hard, like that. Like I want to weave it into the now, not saving it for the later. Anyway, so that's what's kind of coming to mind. Yeah, Nina, jump in.
I think about that all the time. I remember telling my financial planner specifically, I was like, I don't really want comments on how much money I plan to spend on traveling because I want to live my life while I'm in it.
Alive.
Yeah. I mean, and while I'm able-bodied, I was like, it matters to me to plan for retirement too, don't get me wrong, but let's find the balance that sometimes people overlook just in service of. And I respect that. There's goals and reasons to retire early or just be prepared. But I was like, this is a value I have. But anyway, something Mika, your comments were making me think about was, I don't know about you guys, but when I heard the card connector, I instinctually think about connection outwards. But it is interesting to think about what the card could mean for the week if the connector were you connecting to yourself, or more intimate connections than like or thinking intentionally about what that connector is connecting for you, right? So it's a cool thought. I had instinctually was like, oh yeah, connecting outward, other people, me to them, but it's like who's to say?
No, but in our previous meeting, I heard from all of us, we could benefit from connecting with self today, just in terms of our energy level and whatnot, what that maybe what that was communicating to us. And what about for you?
Yeah, what about for you?
What's coming up for me is I'm curious to hear if that's what's coming up is connecting to self. Like, what is a practice that you would use to do that?
Purposeful pause. That, like, for me, that's been my thrice daily like walks outside, because I'm not tethered to my phone. I'm not looking at an email. I'm not, and even if it rings, unless it's urgent, I ignore it, or I'm on do not disturb mode. So really just being in that state, in those surroundings, just observing whatever is happening in that moment. So in the moment mindfulness, I suppose, is kind of one of those practices back to self.
Yeah. How about you, Nina?
Well, what's coming to mind is actually in a couple weeks, I'm getting my first tattoo ever. I would have at a point in time never thought I would ever get one. And I really am at the point where I want one and I know what it's about and I know what it's for. And it's this it represents the tattoo ideas beside the point, but it represents being a jack of all trades, which I'm really proud of. Like I like having lots of interests and I'm proud of it. I think it adds to who I am. And lately I've been really craving like after work hours or before work hours, having more time put towards like creative projects, personal projects, just for fun because they make me so happy. They end up enhancing my productivity or just my joy. So I think I want to lean into that. I'm gonna give that the time that it needs instead of just sitting in front of the TV or texting or, you know, it's easy like in a long-term relationship or long distance relationship to be on my phone a lot, but I want to put more of my energy this week into what makes me happy and have some fun. So what about you, Emily?
I have some creative things piled up over here that I need to finish. And then I'm also going to sit under the pepper tree outside and just listen to the birds.
The best tree.
And you have one of the best sounding chimes on that tree if it's still there. So always a delight. Wonderful.
I love you all. And see you on the flip side, I guess.
Love you too, folks. Make it a great week. We'll see you later.
Thanks for pulling for us.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.